At the 48th Phyllis Schlafly Eagle Council, we sat down with Brody Petska, one of the co-founders of SPARK, or Students Protecting All Rights for Kids. Brody Petska, wonderful to have you on American Thought Leaders.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, in 8th grade, you started SPARK.
Yeah.
When you were 14 years old. Tell me about what SPARK is. I think a lot of people will be surprised what you did in 8th grade. And how things have gone from there.
Okay, I'll kind of start from the end and kind of go back to the beginning. SPARK stands for Students Protecting All Rights for Kids. Formed in 8th grade, but we're kind of against the political indoctrination and the political bias in schools curriculum in public schools. We've actually gotten a lot of assignments kicked out of our school district for indoctrinating kids.
Assignments meaning things like a kind of a unit you'd get to write up or something like that.
Yeah,
okay, I see.
Assignments. I can describe them if you want. But originally it didn't start like that. It started 8th grade. It was against teacher bullying. There was a lot of bullying going on by teachers. So what we did was we made a petition to make the school environment more. It's more an edifying learning environment, I guess I would say. So a lot of kids were scared to go to school. They didn't like going to school. So
what were the teachers doing? Exactly.
Well, they would yell. They would call a lot of students names. They'd make fun of them. There was one instance when a special needs student got made fun of for not being able to do push-ups right, and the teacher would just kind of laugh at him, make the whole class laugh at him. And my friends and I couldn't just stand by and watch that. So we made a petition, had over 60 kids sign it, give it to the school board. So after that, they repainted the walls, more colorful colors, and they held all the other teachers accountable for what they did. So after we did that, we thought, why not just start a group? And when we got into high school, we realized that there's a lot more problems, like big national problems like indoctrination, political bias, a lot of political issues. So around our sophomore or junior year, we just started collecting a bunch of assignments that we thought were outrageous. Just collecting them, put them in our briefcase. People thought we looked really funny walking around with a briefcase, but we did it anyway because we thought it was the right thing to do. So we collected all the assignments, and then eventually we submitted them to the school board to get removed. And luckily they listened to us. It took a while. The school board wasn't very fond of us because we kind of attacked their curriculum and standards, but they have to realize that we're not attacking them. We're trying to help their school district and protect student rights. So when we submitted the assignments, they got removed, and so you can't distribute them to students anymore. And so what we did was we made a bunch of articles about it, went to newspaper companies, and just trying to expand off that. We've done a lot more over the past year with that, but that's how it started. So.
Very interesting. So give me an example of one of these assignments that you took objection to and that were removed subsequently. It seems like you were right.
Yeah. There was one in government classes. The big one was it's called Defining the Spectrum. So basically what you did was a reading. You would read like 2 pages, and it would define the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party. And what it said was liberals were very optimistic, and they thought highly of people and were very nice, and conservatives were very pessimistic, weren't very fond of people, didn't like solutions. And so you'd read that, and it was biased, obviously. I think the person who wrote it was David Bender, who was a supporter of Hillary Clinton back in the campaign. So that's not the reason it was biased, but we looked back at that, and to reading the biased paper, you had to do an assignment. You'd have to circle if you're a liberal or conservative based on the biased reading. So everyone circled, liberal because they want to be, optimistic and nice to people. So that in itself was a huge indoctrination problem. And so that was kicked out right away. The actually funny thing was we kicked that out and they put it back in behind our back. So we had to kick it out twice. So the school board,
fascinating.
Yeah, the school board didn't really take it seriously, so we had to do it a second time. There was another one. You had these things called lenses, so you'd look through lenses and to look at paintings. So you'd look at these paintings through the lenses, and the lenses were like feminist lens, communist lens. So and the paintings were of American culture. So you look at all these paintings of American culture through a feminist point of view. And there was one, American Gothic, a lot of people know that one.
Yes.
Pitchfork. So you had to look at that and be like, okay, the man can't be holding the pitchfork, it has to be the woman. So they'd be train you to be critical feminists. And then there was one, this is mainly the reason the assignment got kicked out, it was of purgatory, Catholic religion. And we basically told them, imagine if you're a Catholic student and you're looking at your own religion through these political lenses, and the purpose of the lenses is to change your perceptions of what you believe. And that's what our teachers taught us. They said you challenge your perceptions or you change them, either one. So they're changing their beliefs on their own religion to students, because there's Catholic students out there. So
Sure.
they want you to look at your own religion through feminist point of view, Marxist, communist. So that one was removed. There was one, it was called Feminist Seminar. Basically, you'd have to it was actually more of an invasion of privacy. You had to answer a bunch of questions about your family, how your family runs, and turn it in, and like how, male and women stereotypes are apparent in your family. So you have to write about that and turn it in, and then you had to read a book about feminism. So beginning of class, there was half the class was like feminists, half the class wasn't. And by the end of the lesson, there was only one person left who wasn't a radical feminist on the left side of the political spectrum. So that one was removed too. Well, that's just a couple examples of what we got removed.
Very, very interesting. So this is essentially the centerpiece of the. Where do you guys operate actually?
Camdenton. It's in Lake of the Ozarks area.
Okay.
So that's where we started.
Okay, very interesting. And but now you're saying it's expanded out past that.
Yeah, we're starting some in Osage. Trying to start some in Osage.
Osage?
Osage. It's in Lake of the Ozarks area too.
Okay.
We've contacted a lot of school districts. A lot of superintendents, surprisingly, have asked us to come and make the group there. So we're working on that right now. We have a lot of, we finally got memberships set up, so students can go online to our website, sign up, and they get an email back, and they can start their own Spark group there, start protecting the rights of their fellow classmates. So that's awesome. So we're just trying to expand right now. It's getting there. It's not really big, but we've already made national news a couple of times, so we're hoping that people see it and they come to us and want to join. They want to do something. They want to fight.
Okay, and you're in college now.
Yeah.
So, but you're still going to focus on high school and middle school and so forth. Yeah.
I think it's really important to, not just forget what I saw in the schools. And we have a couple of students back at the high school too who would be here right now, but they're doing high school things. So we have high school people back there working on it, so I'm not worried about it. But I didn't want to start that and just stop. I didn't want to just have this opportunity for people to come to us for help and just stop it when I got to college. I actually wasn't going to go to college. I was just going to focus on this, but I'm going to go for at least a couple years. But Spark is my main focus. It's what I want to give to the world, basically.
And where can people find your organization online?
It's www.joinsparknow.webs.com. Okay. So that's our website. We also have Facebook. It's Spark in all caps. That's it. Instagram is Spark_students.
Okay.
So that's our social media right now. I'm trying to get a Twitter set up. Don't have a Twitter yet, but eventually we'll get a Twitter set up too. So.
Well, great. Well, wonderful to have you, Brody.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.